veterans benefits are different, and I think we have somebody from the VA today that's going to talk about veterans benefits and what's available. But Medicare and VA work well together. Medicare, VA, and supplemental insurance work well together. Okay? Supplemental not so much because it's not as needed. For VA, yes, but for TRICARE, no. Medicare, VA, and Medicare Advantage, that Part C, work well together. Medicare, TRICARE for Life, and Medicare Advantage can work well together. But it's all in how those policies are put in place and that it's the right policy for the situation. What's right for me is not right for Cherie. What's right for this table is not necessarily right for that table. It really is an individual thing. Okay? Health is a big deal. Medications that you take is a big deal. And also what it is that you're needing to make your quality of life better. Because there's so many programs available to all of you that we haven't even scratched the surface of them. Okay? I don't know if Catherine has somebody who's talking about Medicaid. She mentioned it. So Medicaid for us, I have Cherie over here who is a Medicaid expert. Okay? Medicaid for us, we help people all the time navigate that whole different animal. And that's really, we're not social workers. We don't enroll people in anything when it comes to Medicaid. But we are able to give them resources and help them be able to get all of that they possibly can. Okay? Some people qualify and they don't even realize it. And there's so many different levels of Medicaid, it's not black and white. Okay? Make sure I covered all my list. I think I did. Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Last year was our first year with going out to visit with Cherie. So, and I noticed on her calendar that in August to call for another appointment. Is that still good to do that, or that's September, or wait till the ads come on TV for the free stuff?
Don't wait for the ads. Here's the thing. So we get all of the information. Rollouts right now for certain policies and certain Medicare Advantage, they're all happening this week and throughout the next couple of weeks, and there'll be rollouts. In fact, Dane, he knows all about that, or Greg knows all about that great thing from Humanity. Those rollouts are happening all the time for the next couple of weeks for us as agents so that we can be very educated and make sure that when we show you all of these different options, you get to pick what's best for you, okay? The reason August is on your calendar is because Cherie doesn't want to miss you. And so our calendars fill up super, super quick. We don't see anybody from October until the middle of December. I never see an agent. I rarely do I see anyone. If it is, it's, hi, bye, I've got to pick up papers. So it's to get you in her calendar so that she can make sure she has a slot for you. A lot of times, a lot of this, because of COVID, we ended up being able to do a lot of this over the phone that we couldn't do before. You know, the companies and the carriers, they really changed how we were able to do business and to be able to help so many people remotely. We never shut down during COVID. We were open the entire time, never shut the doors. We had people that still wanted to come and see us face to face, but we learned how to do that not face to face. We ran a lot of appointments on people's front doorstep with a chair and a TV tray and a glass door between us, okay? Because your situations were still happening. Just because everything was shutting down didn't mean that your health wasn't changing, your needs weren't changing, your situations weren't changing. So we needed to be able to do that. So having you call her in August, super important, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Do you have the date for the open enrollment for checking the drugs and the prices that might change?
So annual enrollment runs October 15th through December 7th. Okay? Annual enrollment, AEP, October 15th through December 7th. Now, we are able to start talking about new things the first part of October. However, we're not allowed, we're very regulated, we're not allowed to switch anybody's policies So drug policies, Medicare Advantage policies, Medicare supplement to Medicare Advantage. We're not allowed to write any of those policies for people that are currently on Medicare until the 15th of October. We can talk about it on the 1st because we have all of the information, but we can't put anything in place or change anything till the 15th. Now, Kansas had I'll get your next question. Kansas had some things happen. We had some freezing in February, and we had some natural disasters for us. So we had some special election periods that were available for certain things here in Kansas that we didn't have before, that other people across the country didn't. But annual enrollment, or annual enrollment is the 15th through the 17th. What was your next question?
Well, does everyone here know that, because I'm not that computer literate, that you can call the 4-H and get an appointment so they can get online? You give them the name of your drugs, et cetera, and they'll tell you the list.
Okay, so for 4-H you said? Okay. Okay, shit. Okay, so, here's what I can tell you. My recommendation is that you count on someone who is licensed in the state, okay? And someone who is trained on how to do prescription drug plans and make recommendations, okay? I'm gonna tell you, I fixed a lot of people's drug plans only because they put in a prescription, someone put in a prescription, and they missed a letter, or they missed an extended release, or they picked a tablet instead of a capsule. And then someone goes to try and get a prescription filled, and it's not covered because one little tiny thing was off, okay? That is a devastating thing. And us as agents, we can't change it. Once you're locked in December 7th, midnight, you can't change your drug plan. You have it the next year, whether your drugs are covered or not. Okay? So I love the fact that we have so many volunteers that want to help. I love that. Okay? I would train anybody that wanted to learn how to do it properly. But we've had so many people that have come in. Hold on just a second. We've had so many people that have come in that have brought us recommendations, and we re-enter them and we go back through, and it was incorrect. And we can't change it. Yes, ma'am?
There's a SHIC program that is, they are trained.
Yeah.
We started that license, but they are well trained.
Good. Yeah, we just haven't had as much luck, and that's fantastic. I have offered several times, I would go in and train whoever would be trained how to do it. Only because it's something that you have to look for, and it's something that you have to do properly, just to save all of you a lot of headache. Yes, ma'am?
They are trained by the state.
Uh-huh.
They are certified to do that.
I can't.
I said they are trained by the state and they are certified to do that.
That's fantastic. I just haven't had much luck. I mean, to be quite honest with you, we get stuck. People get stuck and it can't help.
And we would love to be able to change that, but the government doesn't let us do it. They just don't let us change it after the 7th of December.
I don't think they make that mistake.
Okay. And that's okay. You know, it is, and for you, I don't know, maybe that's where you went and it worked perfect, and I'm glad that it did. And I love the fact that people want to volunteer and help. I love it. Okay? I don't get paid to do drug plans. We do all of them for free. We don't get paid to do that. We do it as a service. Just because there's just that window of error. And I don't want anybody to think that I picked a drug plan because I wanted somebody to get paid for it. So we do it all through Medicare.gov, or we look them up on the carrier's website to make sure that it's the right one. So we try and double check ourselves with the carrier's website and then with Medicare.gov. But yeah, I love the fact that people want to help and volunteer. It's important. There's only so many of us. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, why is it that I have talked over the years to several different people, they always want to steer you away from Blue Cross Blue Shield and to one of these other plans. I'm scared to death to steer
So that's a great question. So when Medicare is primary, Medicare is your primary insurance, so you're using that A and B card, they're primary, right? It does not matter who's in that secondary spot, because Medicare is in charge, okay? So if it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, or Cigna, or Lumico, or Mutual of Omaha, it doesn't matter who's in that spot because Medicare is in charge. And because Medicare is your primary insurance, they determine what gets paid and not paid, okay? So if you have Medicare primary and you have Blue Cross Blue Shield secondary, right? And you go to the doctor, Medicare negotiates that bill with the doctor or the hospital, right? And they pay 80% of that. Your secondary company has signed a contract. They will pay the 20% that Medicare approved but did not pay. But neither Blue Cross or Cigna or any of those others I mentioned, they will never pay more. They will always pay the exact same amount. Whatever Medicare said was to be billed and paid, they have to pay that. So Blue Cross won't pay more than Mutual of Omaha or Lumico or Cigna or any of the others. They'll pay exactly the same, okay? But Blue Cross has a very large footprint in the state of Kansas. People are familiar with Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're not a bad company, none of them are. But if they're secondary and we're talking G to G and F to F and N to N, they pay exactly the same. Okay? And where you go to the doctor, if Medicare is your primary, your secondary, it doesn't matter who that is, it's never a non-acceptance. We don't accept that company because Medicare is your primary. Okay? Secondary does what Medicare tells them. So I understand people get nervous about switching from Blue Cross Blue Shield or switching from Cigna to Blue Cross or whoever because they're comfortable. But that name is not the issue, it's the cost. How much is it costing you? Because they do exactly the same thing. They're not going to pay more than the other. Okay?
Even for hospital.
For everything. Yep, for all of them.
Christiane, can I add to that?
Yeah.
So the books that I have on the table over here all the time are actually from CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. You ever pick up one of these books and you go to page 9, right at the bottom of the page from Medicare says, the only difference from plan to plan is the letter, the coverage is the same. So it's right here. A lot of people, they think, no, mine covers the best. No, it covers the same as everybody else. You just might be paying more for the same coverage. So this is from the horse's mouth right here. So if you ever want a book, let me know.
And it's okay. If you're okay and you're happy and it's the premium part doesn't matter, Blue Cross Blue Shield is a fantastic company. They're all good. Okay? So it's what's comfortable for your pocketbook. Yes, ma'am.
It's my understanding that Medicare does not pay, when your secretary does not pay, is that correct?
100% correct, because Medicare is in charge. So if Medicare denies a claim, okay, whoever's in your secondary spot can't pay it. You ready for me to leave?
I was gonna say, that's a good question for an attorney too, so.
It's true. She's kicking me off. Yes, sir.
How difficult is it to change the providers, if you have some minor, or intermediate medical?
Are you talking your doctor, your supplement? So the question was, how hard is it to change supplemental insurance? So if you're not in the open enrollment or guaranteed issue status, right, then you have to be underwritten. Most people think they can't qualify, and really it's not true. It's sitting down with somebody who's licensed that can ask you the health questions. They ask you the health questions that are provided in the application. Most generally, all companies have about the same health questions. And if you pass those health questions, then we send in the application, and if it gets approved, then we tell you. We never cancel policies unless you're approved. Also, some of the carriers in the state of Kansas, they have a level of care, meaning that they may cover you for other things that other companies won't, but you pay a little bit extra in a premium. So most generally, we don't have an issue of people not being able to get approved. Last one, and then she's kicking me out of meeting.
What about the issue of copay? Is that something that, I know our insurance
Nope, it has to do with the letter of the plan. So you could have XYZ company, right, have a plan F, a plan G, and let's say a plan N, because really in Kansas, that's what we deal with, is F, G, and N, okay? F has no copay, you just pay a premium. G has no copay, but you pay part of a deductible, you pay the Part B deductible. N has a $20 copay when it's warranted, and you pay part of a deductible, okay? So it really has to do with the letter, not the different insurance companies, okay? Sorry.
All right, I hear very good, yeah. Okay, so Christy Ann, there's a reason why she's here, she is an expert. Did you tell them how many states that you're regional manager of?
Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma, but I'm licensed in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, South Dakota, because a lot of you want to drive an RV and have insurance up in South Dakota. So lots of different states.
Okay, so you have to have a state license,
Right.
and then do you belong to some type of association with standards and ethics?
So American Senior Benefits requires us to do more continuing education than what the state that we're in requires. Usually, most states are reciprocal, meaning if I hold a license here and I do my continuing education in this state, it will travel to the next state. But we do more training because we don't represent an insurance company. We do training with all of those different companies so that we know how different policies work per company and per state.
Okay. And you heard her say she's never been paid for a drug plan, ever. Ever. And some licensees are, but it's very little.
Yeah, it's a little tiny amount. Most people that change their drug plan, most agents that are licensed and carry an appointment with that prescription drug plan get paid a very small amount to enroll you in the drug plan. It's little, like depending on where they're at, it could be anywhere from $20 to $50 depending. It's just a little tiny amount that they get paid just to enroll you. I don't do that, I do it through Medicare.gov. But there are agents that do it, and that's okay. Nobody's ever complained in this room, I'm sure, about getting paid for doing work. And that's what we do. We do work. So.
And they're professionals, and we appreciate you very much. All right, let's bring up the rest of the panel. Christy Ann is going to stay up here, so you'll have plenty of time to ask more questions. And we're going to bring up our other experts. We're also putting the lights up because, trust me, there's nothing on the slides as we go where you're going to miss anything. So the lights were down for Christy's slides. Those slides will be available on our Empowered Senior page, or you can email us for a copy of it. We're also videoing and live streaming this, so you can watch again on video, and the slides will be on the video. So if you didn't see the slides today, we can provide those for you. All right, let's welcome our panel. Come on up. Mindy, would you mind coming up and helping him put out his veterans information on this table? Because I'm sure they're going to want it. In fact, at all of the tables, there's interesting information. Humana brought education for you. Living Healthy to 100. There's a really nice article here that you can grab. And Cherie, the blonde curly hair, she showed you she's got that choosing a Medigap policy for 2022. That's available on the table as well as other things. Village Cooperative, we talked about last month. Is April in here? Oh, April, hey, stand up.
How are you guys?
Hi. All right, Village Cooperative. This is a major, big deal. These are very, very popular in other cities. Wichita is fixing to build our first one. Over at
21st and Webb in Stony Brook Square.
Okay,
Doing
20
the northeast corner.
Good, 21st and Webb. And so, especially if you're an East Sider, but maybe even if you're a West Sider or Derby, it might be something for you to check out. This is going to be hugely popular once people figure it out, and April has complete packets of information. Now, this is something that you would buy into. It is not, they don't have assisted living. This is independent living. This is like the home you own. April?
Oh, I was just gonna say, we have an information seminar next Wednesday, the 17th at 1 o'clock. It's at the conference, it's in the conference room of the Thorn Building. If you go onto our website, if you just put in Village Cooperative, you'll find all the information and you can RSVP.
Okay, and you can visit with April afterwards, and we're gonna be like this with Village Cooperative because for the right people, it's a good thing to buy into or consider looking at. Okay, Christy, you were talking about local and 1-800 numbers. The power that you have when you're dealing with a local professional like the people in this room versus trying to go online and do your own legal business, I don't suppose you would recommend that? No. Okay, so we'd like you to think local and somebody that you can see face to face that is going to be an advocate for you, not just when you go to your annual enrollment period and make sure you're on the right drug plan, but someone that you can call any time that will help you. They'll make phone calls for you. They'll do what needs to be done. They are professionals at what they do, and they make a lot of problems go away.
I just want to say one thing. If any of you in here has received a bill and you know you don't know that bill, I will tell you that every single one of the people that I have that work for me, their clients never pay those bills unless Medicare just absolutely said no. Because we don't touch paper anymore, right? If it goes to Medicare electronically and somebody misses one keystroke incorrectly, Medicare denies that claim. If Medicare denies that claim, your secondary will not pay it, and your doctor will get that notification, and nobody touches paper, so electronically you get a bill that says you owe money. Most of the time, you don't owe that. And it's something that we can go back and we can get fixed for you and make sure that you don't owe the bill. Super important.
So you can call the 1-800 number and be on hold and go through a bunch of people that don't know what you're talking about, or you can call your person and they will handle that for you. One phone call and they take care of it. So that's why we advocate for professionals. All right, let's introduce the rest of our panel. Brett, if you could just do the best job you can, kind of showing their names. I've got at least one person that doesn't have her name up here. And so I'll introduce you first. Okay.
Good morning. So my name is Patty Nefko, and when I came to Wichita 20 years ago, my husband took a job down here. He's a Navy veteran. We didn't know what to expect from Wichita. Now, I want you to raise your hand, and I'll make this my part of this. Is this only introduction, or let me say what I do?
Yeah.
Real quick, okay.
And like maybe your best tip.
Got you, okay. So, just real quick, who is a native Wichitan here? Yeah, okay. And so the rest of you, raise your hand if you came here from somewhere else, right? So a mixed bag. Me too. And what I found out about Wichita is the people here are fantastic, right? We love each other here, and it shows. And I want you to know that I went into nonprofit after going to school in Kansas City to just be helpful. And my Uncle Bob said, "Oh, is there any money in that, Patty Ann?" And I said, "Well, you know, I want to help people. I'll get a paycheck, you know." So anyway, my point is we're here because we really love what we do, and we are here to help you. Vet Support Command is for free. We charge nothing to United States veterans for anything we do. We help connect you to veteran service providers. You can pick my card up and call me. I'm sort of like a 211 for veterans, I'd say, kind of, right? So we also do direct services for veterans groups and coffees and all kinds of things. The Veteran Providers Coalition of Sedgwick County, PBS Kansas, is a fine collaborative partner with us because they have our welcome our veterans home banquet every single year. We salute our veterans with them. My point is, over 60 organizations come together. It's also for free, no membership dues, nothing like that, to be able to provide you all the services, including the VA, including the regional office, and it goes on. Kansas Honor Flight. If you are a veteran here, please connect to us. I can tell you a whole bunch more, but I'm not going to. If you saw this last Saturday that we had a Veterans Awareness Expo at the All-American Indian Museum, we did, and it was fabulous. Every first Saturday in August, we do that. You're in good hands with us because we were awarded the 2018 PBS KPT PTS Kansas at the time, award for the Veteran Business of the Year. And we're a mom and pop shop with volunteers and a board of directors. And also, Howard Hutchison and I must mention his name, the founder of the coalition. We work on this together. He's a disabled veteran, couldn't be with us today. But what I want you to know is that we work together, and we're the proud recipients of the 2020 Wichita Eagle Newman University, right here, our own nonprofit chamber, #1 nonprofit of all your nonprofits in this region, which there are thousands right here, I know it. And you know what? We're humble about that because it's your award, because we love you. If you need help, we are happy to help. Call me, we will help connect you. And I think that's everything I want to say. I think so. Oh, I started a women's event this year. Boy, howdy, we need to be proud of our women vets too, don't we? And so we had a retreat this year, and every month we're getting together. And if you're a woman veteran or you know a woman veteran, we want to connect them, because your last point, Wichita Veterans Day Parade, November 5th, please come out. We are honoring our women veterans, and your own Miss Sharon Hamrick, who is a Navy retired captain right here, worked for the Eagle. Y'all know who Sharon Hamrick is. I know she was a writer for the Eagle a long time. Well, I'll promise you right now, she worked at McConnell. She is our Grand Mount Marshal, so please mark your calendar for November 5th. And I love all of you. Thank you for that extra little bit of time.
Oh my goodness. I'm Andrew Freeman from the Wichita VA Regional Office, and I served 22 years in the Air Force, so I'm a retired veteran, and now I work for the VA, and I work in disability benefits. We do disability benefits for veterans who were received some sort of injury while in the military. So that's what we do. Come out and see us. We're on the north side of the VA there at 5500 East Kellogg. And come out and see us. We're Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. It's a walk in. You can just come in, sit down with a counselor. We can help you file for any type claims or injuries that you feel that you may have encountered while you were in the military. And my local number is 316-469-0834. So dial that number. You can speak with one of our counselors there, and we can assist you with filing for any disability benefit claims.
And Andrew, I suppose you could get them in touch with someone else that they might need at the VA hospital.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you can contact that command, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, or Andrew, and they can help you.
This set up right last night with the microphone. My name is Ben Carmichael, and I'm an attorney at Morris Lang, Evans, Brock, and Kennedy here in town. And I practice primarily in civil litigation. So typically people would not call me until there is a problem going on or something has arisen where they have been sued or they believe they're about to be sued. They would reach out to me. And in the context that we are talking about, what she said earlier, when it comes to medical billing and insurance issues such as this, if I was going to take a case on like this, I would be calling one of these experts on this panel to ask what exactly happened and what should have occurred here. That approach and the billing issues that she mentioned, Kansas has some very strong consumer protection laws. And my advice to consumers in Kansas is to ask questions and take notes. Because if you are your own personal advocate, that gives you a lot of power in our system. And if you ask questions and are given an answer and you have that down, that gives you a little bit of protection going forward, just in what you are doing. So my advice to you is to ask questions, take notes, and be your own advocate. Because in our healthcare system, that really is a vital portion of it. You have to push for your own health.
Very good. And you might even put the mic closer to your mouth next time. Could you all hear what he's saying? To be an advocate for yourself. So that's really important. And that's something we talk about all the time, every month.
Hello, I am Hannah Anderson. I'm with the Center at Waterfront. The Center at Waterfront is a very vague name for a thing nobody wants to need, but you might need us. We're a skilled nursing facility over in the waterfront area, and I would absolutely echo what Ben said. Be an advocate for your health care. You have so many options that you don't realize when you're in the worst case scenario. And so knowing what your insurance covers, what it does not cover, and who the best resources in the community are is a literal game changer for you, for your sanity, for your physical health, all of the above. So the Center at Waterfront is a 80-bed skilled nursing facility, which is generally a level of rehab you see inside of a nursing home setting. We're set up a little differently. We were built by about 120 of the local physicians, which is pretty phenomenal, to only do the rehab component. So we have a lot of patients, they have an elective procedure, they want the resort rehab experience, so they call us ahead of time to schedule their rehab post-surgery. Most of the patients we see, something has happened, and it's traumatic, and somebody in the family's done the research and knows who the best is, and so they make sure that's where their family member goes. So that's what we do. Our average length of stay is 12 to 17 days, depending on, exactly what the situation is, but absolutely be an advocate for your health. Know what your benefits are and know what's covered, and do your research. Know what your local resources are. So thank you for this opportunity to be here.
So the Center at Waterfront is sponsoring the show Enthusiasm, and they're going to be on the pilot, which we'll talk about at the end. And so it's a great interview. If you call me and you're in the hospital, or your friend or spouse is in the hospital, unable to go directly to your home, I'm going to call Hannah to let her know that's going on, and I'm going to give you Hannah's information so you two can get connected, so you can find out if the Center at Waterfront might be the place for you. It is really a beautiful place. The doctors really care about the work that they're doing, and so that would be my personal first choice to come to. So, and again, it's your licensed insurance people that you also call for direction, and they can help you figure things out. So it's very important to have these contacts. You're building your network. As we approach our fragile years or fragile times, it's very important that we have this community. So last month we talked about the go-go seniors. We're the go-go seniors that are still active and out there and doing stuff. And then you move maybe to the slow go, where you're going a little bit slower, and some things might start happening maybe a little more expectedly. And then the no-go years, which could maybe be over time, assisted living, skilled nursing, memory care. And what we're wanting to do is educate you on all these things so you have some things prepared, because it's tough. Isn't it tough? It's tough. So I think there's people in this room that probably can even talk about that without crying. It's really tough. And I would say you're pretty tough people, you're learning-based people, and as we get older, there's so much going on. And so we so appreciate all these people that are working in the community to help. So let's just start asking our questions, and I'll throw some questions in as I think of some. Who has a question? Up here. Okay.
supplementary and advantage and so on. Is that true with formulary prescriptions as well?
No.
So repeat the question.
So he said that I said there was no difference between company to company to company when it was talking about supplemental insurance. So there is a difference company to company to company when we talk Medicare Advantage, because each Medicare Advantage company has different benefits that they offer. Drug companies as well. So formularies for your prescription drugs, Part D formularies, are also different per company. They're different per Advantage plan as well. The formularies, so when we try and help people decide what to pick, we take, if we're talking Medicare Advantage and Part D, we take doctors into effect, the doctors that they have with Medicare Advantage, and the prescription drugs. We put that into that carrier's website to make sure that doctors are covered and prescriptions are covered. So that cost is really pretty much known. When we're talking about just prescription drug plans, we take the list of prescriptions that you take, and we're very specific. We don't want to know that you just take metformin. We want to know that you take which metformin you take, how many times you take it a day, and what the dosage is, okay? And so we put all of that in so that we make sure we pick the right drug plan for you based on what you take. Now, people's situations change, right? You may have a health challenge that you didn't expect you were going to have, and your medications have changed. Okay? Happens all the time. But remember, we can't change the drug plan in the middle of the year. So then we have to look and see, is it possible that the doctor can use a generic instead of a name brand? Some people can take generic, some people can't. Is it possible that we can get some samples to help during the time that we have to pay a deductible? So all of that is something that your professional helps you with. And we do it all the time.
Mine is a veteran-related question, and I apologize if I personalize this. There might be some other veterans in here that might ring true, but I qualify for VA benefits, but I am so far down, through the means test. And anyway, I didn't apply early enough. So now, my question is, and I think you covered it, Christy, about the cooperation between the VA and Medicare. If I am qualified for VA benefits, is that a supplemental process in and of itself, like Medicare, then VA, instead of purchasing supplemental insurance through Blue Cross Blue Shield, for example? And how can I come out there and say, I want to go through this means process again? I think things have changed.
That is exactly what I wanted to hear you say. That's being an advocate for yourself and working to be educated, equipped, and empowered. Keep asking, keep asking, keep asking, escalate, escalate, escalate. That means go up the chain, try other people. Who is the person that can help you get where you need to go? Because I promise you there's somebody out there. So if you keep asking questions, you can find a short line. When there's a short line and there's a long line and people keep coming up, and what line do they get into? The long line. I get the short line, I know, because you and I are like the same personality. We're looking for the short line, or even a way to skip the short line. I mean, let's be honest, okay?
Okay, so VA. So if you have A and B, parts A and B of Medicare, right? Let's go just to A. If you have Part A of Medicare and you have VA benefits, you are not required to take Part B. Okay? Nope. But you have to have VA benefits. You have to be able to be doctored at the VA. Okay? If you have A and B, and you want to still have choice, right? You can use VA and you have Part B as well, and they'll file under Part B.
okay? If you have A, B, and a supplemental insurance, and you have VA, you can use VA. You can go outside of VA and use somebody across the country, okay? So you can go to Mayo Clinic, you can go to MD Anderson because you're using the VA here in Wichita, but you want to go to a cancer doctor down in Houston, you can do that if you have A, B, veterans benefits, and a supplement, okay? Choice, okay? The VA is changing. You know, they really are changing how veterans are able to be cared for. My husband is a disabled veteran. He's 53. So he goes to the VA for all of his health care, and they always end up sending him outside someplace else to a doctor here in town that works with the VA. But not all places have a VA like we do here. It's just not, it's not there to help, okay? Medicare Advantage. Almost every Medicare Advantage plan that's available in Kansas has either a Patriot plan, an Eagle plan. What's the Humana plan called, Greg? Honor plan. They all have a plan that help veterans and give them extra benefits, and it still doesn't affect VA benefits. It gives them extra benefits. But everybody's situation is different, okay? Because some people have A, some people have B, some people just have A, some people have A and B and nothing else. They're all different. And
Your husband is C3, you mentioned, that category?
no, he's 50. He's 53. So yeah, so he's 53. And those areas that you're talking about of how much veterans care you get is all based on if it's service connected and what your disability and all of that stuff is. But most generally, there's a plan out there that will help and work with the VA if you have VA benefits. And also, if you only use the VA or you have TRICARE, this just happened yesterday. I had some people that called me, and an agent called me, they were in a house, people had TRICARE, okay? They got on some plan, they didn't know what it was, but they had their TRICARE, and they really didn't understand how TRICARE works. Those of you that have TRICARE, does anybody in here have TRICARE for life? All right, TRICARE for life. TRICARE for life is your supplemental insurance to Medicare. You don't have to have another supplemental insurance. You can choose to do that if you want, but TRICARE for life is your supplemental insurance to Medicare, okay? TRICARE for life, you can still take a Medicare Advantage plan, an MA no prescription drug plan, and have TRICARE for life. And all that's doing for you is giving you that buyback they talk about, or payback on your Social Security. It's giving you that extra amount back in your Social Security check because it's reducing your Part B premium, your Medicare Part B premium. And so you can take a Medicare Advantage plan and still have TRICARE for life and get all of the benefits, the extra benefits that the Medicare Advantage plan provides, and not screw up your TRICARE and not screw up your VA benefits. But people think it's going to screw things up, and it doesn't. You got to do it right.
Okay, she is brilliant because all of the information she said, it makes sense to me. I've heard all kinds of things before, and it was a lot of information, I understand, but I want to say that when my husband, who's a disabled Navy veteran, he didn't ever need the VA because we had private insurance and he worked and we were fine, and then he got a terrible illness and he gets his care at the VA, and they're brilliant and I love them and it's great. He's doing well and his name is Tom. My whole point to that is that we had no idea when we were thrown into instant retirement due to medical. Oh, all of a sudden we need disability and the VA disability. My whole point is our agent was the one that said, let me explain it to you, just like she did to you. Yes, this, that, and the other, and you can and you don't have to and all this. And we felt like we were in the best hands ever, that we understood. And Tom got this great plan, and he is VA connected, and he does have Medicare, and he does have the extra, and it's a tennis shoe program and all of these things. But my point is, he's so happy. And also, I'm going to say about the free things. This is just a funny thing, real quick. He said, honey, and we're our age. He says, honey, I'm getting a free push button thing. You know, he's not at risk for falling right now, but he said, they're sending it to me. I said, okay, Okay, so my point is, he's so happy he got hooked up at Genesis, and he got a Fitbit watch, and he walks these steps every day, and now I've got to do these steps right now because I'm going to get some bonus. And I said, okay, and he is not kidding when he orders these things every quarter. And my point is that it was my representative in the VA that carried us, and I'm in the business, not insurance, but I'm in the business of knowing stuff for veterans, and they helped us. And what you said was perfect. You're in good hands here.
Sometimes it takes an expert to recognize an expert, because I'm telling you, we are bringing you the best of the best. Like Andrew, I can't even believe we got you, and the attorneys that we have in the room, amazing. You have got to have an attorney, whether you think you do or not. I promise you, you do. It is so critical. If you have an 18-year-old granddaughter, she needs some of the same things that you need. And I bet you the rest of the family doesn't need that. What do we need? What are the essential documents that we need to navigate healthcare and to have our wishes followed through? Talk right into the mic.
Mr. Robinson?
Howard, I said, are we gonna get double billed? Is this too much?
Alex Robinson in our office handles all of our estate planning. I will let him answer that question. It's much more his wheelhouse.
All right.
Thank you.
Loud into the mic, what's on there?
I'm going to charge quadruple and cut it down to double so it looks like a deal. When we're talking about healthcare, we want to be proactive about it. We want to have things in place ahead of time so that we're not trying to react, because a lot of times it's too late at that point. So if you don't have powers of attorney that give either your spouse or your children or someone else that you're close to and that you can trust in place, you need to have that done. Because if you're incapacitated because of a fall, or because you were injured in a car wreck, or because of one of a dozen other things that you can't think of right now, you're not going to have an advocate. Hopefully that you're picking someone that's going to know your wants and your wishes and knows exactly what you want to have done. That's why you need a general durable healthcare, or a general durable power of attorney, even more, okay. Which I call the financial power of attorney. It does a lot more than that, but it's for the financial decisions. And then you need a general healthcare power of attorney, which enables them to have the authority to make healthcare decisions for you. And then you also need what we call a declaration or a living will, which gives additional instructions to your healthcare power of attorney or your agent to be able to make the choices that you want to make. Because what we see a lot of times is if you're not in communication with the people in your life about what you want to have happen in certain situations, they're going to make a guess. And that guess might be what you want, and that guess might not be what you want. And if you haven't communicated with your family, there's going to be someone else who says, well, no, wait a second, that's not what they want. And that's when it gets expensive, and that's when it turns family members who are just trying to do the best they can for you against each other. Because they're saying, well, wait a second, Grandpa didn't say that he wanted to not have life support. And so we need to do that. And they're going to sue to make that happen. So we really want to make sure that we have in place those documents that allow everyone in your family to know exactly what you want to have happen. You need a will, because again, I don't think there's anyone in the world who woke up and said, you know what, I think today I'm going to get in a horrific car accident and, pass away. That doesn't happen. And so we need to have these documents in place that tell people where we want our property to go, where we want our IRA to go, where we want our life insurance to go, where we want all of the things that we've accumulated through our life to go, and who we want it to go to. A lot of people might think, oh, well, I'm married, so everything will just go to my spouse. In Kansas, that's generally not the way it works. If you don't have a will and you die, 50% will go to your spouse and 50% will go to your children. And so that might not be what you want to have happen. So you have to have those documents in place so that everyone knows what to do. Because the state of Kansas will make its best guess, and that's what the laws of intestate are there for. But that might not be what works for you and your family. So putting together an estate plan now costs you a little bit of money up front, but it's going to save a ton of money on the back end when when your family is trying to determine what they need to do. If they know where those documents are located, if they know what your plan is and what you want to have done, it reduces the level or the percentage chance of them fighting over what's going to happen. And that's where so much money gets lost is people spend money on us to fight over things that they really don't need to be fighting over because either someone hasn't communicated the plan or they misunderstood the plan or they're fighting for other reasons. But having those documents in place and having that plan in place really saves a ton of money for your family after you pass away, and really it helps you out during the process when you're needing to make healthcare decisions.
Alex, does your firm provide assistance to veterans who qualify for the VA assistance program?
Well, I'm a veteran myself, and so if someone's needing help in that area, we can help them out for sure. Yeah, it's not something that we do a ton of, but if that's something someone comes to us for, we can do it. We're a full service law firm. We do everything from commercial litigation. We have 3 full-time estate planning and estate administrators, oil and gas wells. I'm sure tons of people here have some interest in some oil and gas wells. All of those types of things we can help with. And that, again, that's all being an advocate for yourself and getting stuff in place to really make the best decisions for you moving forward.
Kevin, can I ask one last real quick? Or just take 2 seconds?
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Time's up.
Okay.
Okay, super important. Okay, in 16 years, I've had a lot of clients die. In 16 years, I've had a lot of my agents' clients die. Okay? The way when things go super smooth, it's when people have prepared ahead of time. Okay? I've said this before, I believe up here, and talk about the go-to kid or the go-to person. How many of you have children? Okay? Out of those children, how many of you have a go-to kid? That doesn't mean that kid is better than the other. They just know a little bit more than maybe the other two. How many have a go-to kid? Okay? I'm a go-to kid. I know more than my sister does about my parents' situation. That go-to kid needs to know what your wishes are, and your attorney needs to have their name, their information, because that go-to kid knows more about what's happening than the others. Super important.
All right, so let's talk about our go-to kids. How old are your children?
30.
What?
What?
30 to 15. How old are your kids? 40s, 50s, 60s. Guess what? They could have a heart attack just as easily as you could when they're dealing with a huge old mess because you're in rehab and you're going to be homeless because they don't know how to get you to the next place. Okay? And if they don't have an attorney to call that's going to solve that problem or an insurance person to call, your kids are not spring chickens. Are they? No. We got to watch out for them. My mom agrees. I'm not a spring chicken. Look at me. Look at my husband. Yes, some of you are in better health than your kids. Is that true for some of you? Are you in better health than some of your kids? He likes to think so. All right. Our kids need us to do a good job with our mature life task. Thank you. Which means taking care of your real estate issues, taking care of your legal issues, taking care of your extra stuff. All that stuff, I'll just say stuff. All that stuff you have, okay? This has to be addressed. And this is so important, and so we're preaching to the choir because you guys are the ones that show up and take notes. But please hear what they're saying. Give us some examples of things that go really bad and end up in litigation.
I can't use specific examples because that information is confidential under rules of federal conduct, etc. But the most salient issue that we could talk about here today is just surprise billing. If you're not aware that if you think something's covered and then you get a surprise bill out of the blue for $40,000, $50,000 related to your health care, bankruptcy, one of the prime causes for bankruptcy in America is medical debt. And that's why, my advice to the group here today is to be your own advocate, because you want to know if you're going to get a bill at the end of the day, what it's going to be, and is it personal obligation, is your insurance going to cover it, or was there something represented to you along the way where you told it was covered? Did you take notes that say it was covered? Did you record the conversation? Things like that. That is really, the big area that I see. It is a lot of billing issues related to this. And for medical billing, it is an expert issue. It's code-based, it's highly technical, and the reimbursement rates are all over the board for the services that they provide, and private pay obligations versus covered insurance rates vary drastically. And if it is private pay obligation, typically it's exponentially higher than what it would be if insurance covered, because insurance negotiates prices for those rates. So that's where I have seen a lot of litigation. It is in that, the surprise billing issues, things like that.
Thank you very much. They will be here to take questions. Rachel, thank you for being here to fill in for Delno, our regular photographer who's not well today. It's also his birthday today, but he's not well today. And Rachel, I just posted on Facebook. I did not expect any kind of response. I posted on Facebook, I'm here for this morning, and my childhood girlfriend that I used to play Barbies with said, my daughter will do it. Rachel, thank you so much. And she looks just like my girlfriend. We're more connected together than we've ever been. And just everything that we can share together in person and online is just amazing. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to have plenty of time to ask questions. You can come up and ask questions after Rachel takes a photo of the panel. But we're going to do a couple things. I have, whoop, there goes the mic again. Shake it. Test? Okay, maybe somebody else try it. I have these made up for you this morning. These are the last 4 sessions for this year. Don't miss them. Dementia, Alzheimer's. That's probably people's greatest fear, one of the top fears. We are going to have the best people here to help you with that, to talk to you about that, educate you on that. October, I always like to do something spooky and scary in October. So, instead of scams this year, we're going to talk about the truth about getting your affairs in order. Bad blood and blended families. Not your family, but other people's families. We're going to talk about the nonsense and craziness that happens. And so that's going to be very entertaining. And we'll have more seats available. Bring your friends. November, Thanksgiving. I do a theme there. We're going to talk about legacy, the truth about legacy and positively impacting the next generation. Do you think the next generation needs our help and guidance today? Yes. December 8th, holiday revelations, stressors, and life-changing decisions. What is that about? When the kids or grandkids go and visit the grandparents, sometimes during the holidays, something is revealed. Maybe great-grandma sounded great on the phone every single day, but when they go visit her at the holidays, they open up the fridge and there's surprising things. They see surprising things. They observe surprising things. And that's when Hannah gets involved and people in the medical industry and the senior living communities, and the go-to kids have to spring into action, and they're going to need some help with all that. We also want to help you prepare for the holidays and the discussions that you might be having during the holidays. All right? And then we'll have a whole new year. Thank you. We'll have a whole new year of information next year. All right. Let's cue Angel's Enthusiasm. We're going to give you a little sneak peek. So Angel's Enthusiasm we designed for the go-to
Next on Ageless Enthusiasm, I visit with Dr. Womack from the Center at Waterfront and learn how he made a pivotal change in his career using his hands-on approach to benefit the community.
And I think that's where we're really headed in medicine right now. So we have this huge generation of people who are active, living in the community, taking care of themselves, but then when they run into a problem, they're going to need help. But the help they want is to get them back to the community. I'm Mindy East. All that and more on the next episode of Ageless Enthusiasm.
Great job, great job. Hannah Anderson is on that episode too. Did you see Tigger on his stethoscope? So you can remember Dr. Tigger. And so tell us just a little bit more about the doctor and why you guys started that facility.
So, Wichita is a very tight-knit community, right? Like, we're basically a small town. Everybody knows everybody, is related to everybody, which is really fantastic. It's also a very entrepreneurial community, which for consumers is fabulous because you have a lot of great options. And the medical community is incredibly entrepreneurial and competitive, which means you guys are going to be in fantastic hands. So a bunch of the doctors that see patients when they come in from something traumatic in the emergency departments of our local hospitals came together with some of the hospitalists and then got a bunch of their friends on board and decided we've got to do better. We have to do something better. We're doing surgeries on these patients. We're sending them out to the community, losing track of them and seeing them wind up back in the emergency department, and it is simply unacceptable. We have to do better, and we're going to create our own. And so that's exactly what we are. They decided we're going to make this the cruise ship of rehabs. And they found the right people to be in those seats to ensure the best quality care and the best time for all the patients that come through our doors. So I'm fortunate enough to be a part of that incredible team. It is a clinical team that is the only zero deficiency building in the state of Kansas, which is unheard of. We've been zero deficiency since the very beginning 3 years ago, which you guys I'm sure could tell you that's simply unheard of, which just shows our commitment to doing the best thing, do the right thing for the patient at the right time, and be the best. So, and people have fun along the way. So I see some familiar faces in this room that could probably attest to that as well. So we're happy to be a part of the community and to be of service to the community, and we're here if you need us. And if you want to check us out, there's a video on our website, and you can also stop by and just say, I've heard a lot about this place, the place with a really big name in the waterfront area. You can also call it Randy's Rehab Ranch. Some of the dogs jokingly call it that as well. So, but thank you.
It must cost a lot more money to go to the cruise ship of rehabs.
One would certainly think. It does not. Medicare pays us the same as they pay the nursing home down the street. So that rate is, we use that money to provide the best of the best. So we have doctors in our building every single day overseeing the care and providing the care to our patient population in the most luxurious place you could possibly be. It's funny, we have had multiple situations in which people walk into our building to check into the hotel to make a reservation. And we have to explain to them, no, this is not down the street. We're right next to the hotel, so they can go down there. Although we look very, very nice, and it would be a very pleasant stay.
So if your go-to kids need rehab, I know where we should try to go. So, but again, just call any professional in this room, call our main number for anything that you need anytime. We're very serious about that. We have answers for you, or we know who does. Okay, and my thing is, you spend 5 minutes trying to figure something out, it's time to grab the phone and call a friend. Call somebody that needs help. 5 minutes. I don't like to be on hold. Do you? No. All right, we've got the short line for you. Please come next month. That concludes today, and we appreciate you guys being here so much.